Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe, a real American hero, Cobra A.S.P. And this is not my original. This thing has seen better days. Before I start, I am missing the two guards for the gun that go right there. I believe that's the only thing that I'm missing. And I gotta say, I did have this as a kid. It was a neat idea. To say that it was poorly designed is kind of an understatement, especially for the long, especially for the long run. But there's one big, huge thing that is a glaring miss, and I'll talk about it when I get into actually showing this off. But anyway, you can see the guns don't really stay up anymore. The ratcheting system is completely long gone. The fact that the fact that the legs actually still stay in place is actually pretty shocking. So anyway, we're going to take a look at this, go over it, and see exactly how good it is. And again, it is designed nicely. It is something a little bit different for Cobra, which is something that's pretty cool. And it was something that was meant to be a tow along. Obviously, it's a complete tow along. So you need a stinger, a hiss, something like that that's going to be able to drag it along. So anyway, let's get into this because no one wants to continue to look at this, to be 100% honest. But before we do, if you like this type of stuff, you like the classic reviews that I've been giving you, please just take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop something like this. Hey, look, the gun stayed in position. All right, so here we have our Cobra A.S.P. And I got a Televiper so I can throw them in here and see how they actually sit. So quickly, I said this is one of the weirdest designs. Now, if you ever look at it, it really does look like a Cobra Snake Trooper. Now, I don't have one of those, but it has that same silhouette that goes to it. But looking at this, it is cool. It was a nice little weapon. I am missing the guards here for the blasters. But we'll quickly take a look at the blasters because these are two pieces that also get lost or come lost pretty easily. Now, it does move together, so they should not be independent of each other. All right, quickly looking at the guns here. I always like the way the guns look. It has this long barrel for the cannon, and then you just have some tips here. Obviously, this is going to disperse some of the heat, as these are more laser cannons than anything. All right. Looking up here, you have a couple little different dials or whatever they are. But it's going to run straight across. This is all nice and smooth, this armor. And here, this is where you're going to have your conduit. And when you look at that, it does have bolts that are holding it down. On the top here, you got a little piece that just kind of sits right there. And then when you get over to here, it is the exact same, not the same style here. It has some sort of mechanics right there. All right. Looking at it here. Now, just like the Sky Striker, there is no glass. Now, I don't know if that's supposed to be like this. It seems pretty a poor design for Cobra if you did, but hey, it's Cobra. Quickly on the front, it also has a unique look of the Cobra Hiss. So this thing flips up, and you have a nice seat there. It has a nice some padding onto it. It has some detail up there. There's where you're going to put your feet. And up top here, if I remember correctly, there are some gauges. So that's what he's going to be looking at when he's shooting. All right. I don't think that black light's helping anything. UV light. All right. So you can see there is some detail right there of what he's supposed to be looking at. All right. But as we come around, we do have this piece here, which if I am correct, it does pop off. And there is your engine or your hydraulics, because obviously you're going to need to fix some things as time goes on. So all of this is designed so you do have some hydraulics in it. On the inside, there's just a little bit of detail there. All right, this thing just kind of clips right on like that. You can see the ventilation for it. You got the Cobra symbol on the back. All right. It can sit here, and it's meant to turn if you're going to fire upward. Actually, let's flip these down really quickly. This is meant to do a full 360. But let's say you can't really aim this way, so this thing is meant to go up in this position, which is supposed to have, if I am correctly, a ratcheting system that will stop right there, and then up all the way. Okay? So you're sitting here as you're fighting against vamps and mobats and maulers and everything like that. On the bottom, you can see the hydraulics of how it's supposed to move it up and down. You have a breaker access. That's actually pretty cool. I never really noticed that. But you do have all this design right on the bottom here. All right. Up here, you can see the nice detail that they put on there because you're going to be walking on that. When it's wet, you don't want to slip. And then you do have right here where you're going to connect it to your tow hitch. Two different types of feet. So you have these 2 feet here. You can see the little claws on the bottom, so it's going to grip in, so it's technically not supposed to move as you're firing. These will go up, and they ratchet into place. And on the back here, you just got the same thing. So claws here, you got hydraulics, because this is actually supposed to, if I remember correctly, go in that way. All right. Then these wheels are going to ratchet down like so. And you look at them, you have your lug nuts, you got your wheel that kind of sits there. And once this gets here, you're supposed to use a stinger, a hiss. I don't remember if the stun has anything. And then you could just tow it. But one of my biggest issues is this tends to mention it. So if we just kind of flip this up, it stays in that position better, and then nothing hits. Now, this looks weird. It looks like you're rolling and just trying not to touch your feet. All right. So we'll lock this down quickly. I'm going to throw this Televiper in here, and you can kind of get an idea of what it is. One of the biggest issues with this. So this guy sits in here, and now mind you, he was made after. So he's not part of this wave, but still, all these figures are designed very similar. So one of the issues is he really has to kind of finagle him in there. His feet tend to get in the way, and when you lift him up, he tends to fall forward. All right? There really should be a peg right back here, and maybe this should have been designed, maybe just opened up a little bit wider so you could fit it in there along with the peg. But that's really one of the downfalls. Again, this is supposed to be on a ratcheting system. That ratcheting system is long gone after all these years. So as you're looking here, I can get it to sit like this, but if I tap it, it tends to fall. I guess it does stay up there fairly easily, but then you have an issue keeping a figure in there. And it is also, I guess, not that top heavy. It doesn't really want to fall. So, but there you go. That is your Cobra A.S.P. This thing normally sits like this, being towed by a hiss in my display. So there you go. That's your review. All right, so there you go. That is your A.S.P. review. Again, fun little vehicle. Again, did it make a lot of sense? Probably not. Were there a few miscues, like when it's up in the position like this, let's be honest, not having a back peg, and they put back pegs on everything, that was a huge miss because the figures literally just fell forward. So anyway, I love to hear a story. Did you get this? Was this one of the things that maybe you got this and you were like, I don't even have any Cobra vehicles to tow it. What am I supposed to do with this? Well, I'd love to hear that type of stuff. And like, even when you look at it like this, it actually looks like it's supposed to walk. Looks like these are the arms and these are the legs and here's the actual body. I think that's how it's supposed to look, but I don't know. You tell me. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Please take a second if you like this type of stuff. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop something like this. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to leave right up here another review that I've done of the classic reviews, and down here will be a playlist of all the classic reviews that I've done. Take care.